All right, ladies. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
The best leadership happens when you step away for 10 minutes.
This is Back in 10.
Hey everyone, welcome to Back in 10. I am Jen.
And I'm Savanah.
Ooh, that was a good one.
I felt a little jazzy in that moment.
You did. There you go.
Spice it up.
Shimmy, shimmy. Yeah. We are the biggest cheese balls ever. Well, what we're going to be talking about today. Oh my word.
Sorry.
Are we going to do some Fosse hands next? You want to do like the Fosse
Obviously.
hands? You have to do it like you're holding like the eggs. Yeah. You done that? Uh-huh. Yep. Gotta love it. Sorry, past life, y'all.
Theater girls at heart.
We are. So we're going to be talking about managing those difficult patients. Like, how do we de-escalate some of those situations? And man, it can be challenging, right?
Super challenging.
Yeah, if it's directed towards you, I'll say, if it's a one-on-one, and if you have to step in to de-escalate, man, there's some spicy stories that go on. But Savanah, tell me, when you were in practice, what are some of the things that you could do to help to support your team, or that you did do to support your team when there was a challenge with patients?
I mean, the goal in de-escalating, I think, for the practice is to at least support your team, preserve the patient relationship, determine whether or not this patient relationship is a good fit for the practice and for the team, and most importantly, keep control of that dang situation. There have been times when I've heard my team on the phone for 15 minutes. If your team member is on the phone trying to de-escalate a patient for 15 minutes, that honestly is 13 minutes too long. Way too long. Once you hit a 2-minute mark and you've tried all your tactics of remaining calm, asking clarifying questions, coming with the understanding that they're frustrated, if that doesn't work, then I understand that I can get very angry sometimes, right? When I get super frustrated, and I understand you want to lash out. That is not a good idea. And just throwing things back at the patient is just not a good idea. It's more important to say, look, I want to help. I want to continue helping you. I really do. But I need us to have this conversation respectfully. And if we can bring down the tone, I'll be able to get this resolved quickly for you. Otherwise, let me give you a call back in about 5 to 10 minutes so we can discuss this again. I'm fine with them doing that and hanging up the phone, going to the back for their back in 10 break, taking a breather, and then coming to me for guidance.
Yeah.
And looking at the patient account, the patient record. For sure.
Yeah, and I think you said something very powerful there, that, it's okay to get off of the phone and allow everyone time to let the snow settle a little bit. I think I've used this before, the snow globe analogy, right? So when everyone knows the snow globe, so when you shake up that snow globe, you cannot see that picture inside clearly. You can't. You have to put down the snow globe and let that snow settle. And some days it's like a damn blizzard, and other days it's a light flurry. But let me tell you, it's really important that you let that settle, because if not, it's going to turn into a dang nor'easter, and nobody got time for that.
Nobody has time for that.
Nobody got time for that. And I think, anything with communication, there's power in the pause. So when you pause, ask a question and pause, and don't say anything, the next person that talks loses, I'll say. So if you ask a question and then you wait and there's that awkward silence, just let it it's gonna be uncomfortable. Get comfortable with the uncomfortable awkward silences.
Mhm.
And then you're golden.
Mhm.
Just let them think and
Mm.
answer. And it's okay to say, you know what, I'm going to look into that more for you. And I also want to give us a little bit of time just to center and take a breather for a minute, and we'll come back and we can talk about this more. But I want to collect a little bit more information during that time, and I'll call you back like by the end of the day or whatever the case may be. It's important that you do that.
I love your snow globe analogy because within all the flurry, like, you don't see the picture until everything calms down, which should be the tone, right? You should stay calm.
Hmm.
Lower your voice. If you can keep an even tone, that is one of the most effective things you can do. Even if you're pissed the F off. I'm sorry, Mrs. Jones. This sounds super frustrating, and I can understand that you're frustrated, but I want to help you find a solution.
Hmm.
Okay, fine. Fine, Susie. Find my solution. And at that point, Savannah might have been like, God damn it! Boom, put on the hold. Take your
Yeah.
breath. Lower your
Yeah.
tone.
Yeah. You
Sniff
might
your
have
essential oil.
you might have hives like all over your neck and all over your
Yeah.
face, but they don't need to hear that in your voice.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. And
And
it's very difficult to do. And honestly, it's also something great to do if you're parenting or in relationships or anything. Just keep that calm tone. And if someone is escalating their voice or their tone, naturally they're going to come back down. Now it might take some time, and that's when you can pause, right? But it's really important that you keep your cool in the conversation, and then you can go off to the side and go, what in the actual he double
WTF.
6 just happened?
I mean, and honestly, like, a patient's anger and frustration is rarely about you. It is rarely about you. I mean, I'm gonna say 99.9%. It's not about you. It's they're in a dental practice. What could be barriers for patients? Fear. They hate
Yeah.
coming to see us. They don't
Mhm.
want to be there. Also,
Mhm.
money. Like, they're afraid of how much things are going to cost.
Mhm.
And like, they could have had a previous experience at a dental practice that just throws them into a tizzy, and they don't even recognize that they're being
Right.
savages.
Right. Yeah.
So
Fear, finances, and insurance.
insurance.
Honestly, those are probably the biggest challenging conversations that you'll
Yeah.
ever have.
Yeah.
And there's always those weird ones, right? Like, I know you and I have heard some stories, even from, some of our friends and colleagues in the industry, that they'll call and they'll ask for support, and you're like, wait, what did you say just happened? Like, does
Yeah.
that make any sense? And
Mhm.
sometimes, look, the biggest thing is you have the conversation. I'll say this too, that I have found throughout the years. Have the conversation, and you need to write down what happened in their ledger. It doesn't go into their patient notes, right? They're not their clinical notes, but you need to write down what happened, because if you didn't write it down, it didn't happen. And
Mhm.
that is a legal document. And I will tell you, I know from colleagues in the industry, there has been multiple times that the office has been sued, or that specific team member has been named in the lawsuit, and they've been okay. And it's because they have documented everything. It's
Mm.
when you don't that becomes a problem. And I think one of the biggest things that I have found in the industry, specifically on the admin side, is that admin team members don't recognize that the conversations that they have are equally as important as the conversations that the clinical team has.
Yeah.
You have to document that. You
Yeah.
have to document it. So build it into your workflow that you're documenting that. But goodness, not just the challenging conversations, the majority of them. You don't
Yeah.
need to, say, Susie, sorry, I'm picking on Susie today. Like,
Susie
Susie
is
canceled her appointment. You don't need to do that. It's going to come up anyways, right? When you cancel it. But you really
yeah.
need to make sure that you're documenting those things and
And
leave
oh,
emotions out of it.
mhm. Mhm.
You
After
can't.
and after any kind of encounter or hard conversation with the patient that gets to this, extent, um, you got to debrief with the team, like just to go over what worked, what didn't work. It's also a learning opportunity for the rest of the team. And backing,
Mhm.
I've never felt more supported by a dentist or by a manager when I was admin than being backed up by them, by the dentist and the manager when any kind
Mhm.
of conflict arose. Your team sees that you value your team. I mean, individuals on the team, but the whole team.
Mhm.
And patients can even see it too. If this is a verbal interaction at the front between your front admin and a patient, you could have a reception area full of patients. So backing
Mhm.
your team up also just it adds value to your leadership position as well. And it shows that you protect your team. That you
Mhm.
protect what you find valuable, which is your team.
Yeah. And okay, so I have a question for you because I know this has
Mhm.
come up for me in the past because you talk
Mhm.
about like if that happens in your reception area, right?
Yeah. I've had to call 911.
There's a few different rules of thumb, but here's two that I want to bring up.
Mhm.
Do you A offer that patient to go into a consult room or a private area to have that conversation?
Mhm.
Or do you B keep it in an open area?
Oh, I would recommend it go to a consultation room. Pull it out of the
Mhm.
front. I mean, you can't help if someone walks in the front door and just starts blabbering
Mhm.
and yelling and
Mhm.
screaming at your front desk team.
Mhm.
Um, but yes, if they have been in the treatment area in the clinical area, I would direct them into a
Mhm.
consult room. If they're
Mhm.
coming off the street, don't have an appointment, have not been in the prep, have didn't have a reserved appointment that day, I would give pause because that to me
Mhm.
is a big sign of aggression that I don't want to then bring back to the clinical area. You really
Correct.
have to also look at
The scenario.
body language as well too. I mean, I did have to call 911 because there was an aggressive patient who did not want to leave. I was afraid for my team. I was afraid that the guy was going to come back with a gun. I mean, and there are a lot of classes now and certificates you can get for your practice for that type of safety, for
Mhm.
de-escalation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a great question, Jen. Oh yeah,
Mhm.
if they're in clinical already, put them in a consultation room. Otherwise, you got to really assess what's happening.
Yeah, and I think if you're gonna pull someone into a consult room, or even if they're at the front desk, you need to have another person there with you because
Absolutely.
it can't be one against the other. You need to have like a witness or somebody there.
Yeah.
And you need to be mindful because everyone has things going on in their lives and we don't know, right? We don't know their
Right.
situation. We don't know what's going to trigger them or set them off, right? It could be
Yeah.
anything and everything. Um, no, but completely agree with you there. I think you really have to be mindful and look at body, at their body language and see what's kind of going on there too. Um, and this is when like use some of the tactics from my dad, like how do you de-escalate and how do you have those conversations? And um, it's important that you have those conversations though. And if you need to practice those, highly encourage you to, because when you're
Mhm.
in the moment, it's extremely difficult.
Mhm.
And it's really important that you said like debriefing. Do not take that lightly. You need to
No.
debrief with that person that had the initial conversation. Anyone else that was involved in it, you need to make sure that they are okay as well. And that will go far.
Oh,
Mhm.
that these type of conflicts and well, these type of conflicts can really take a toll on the team member who is on the receiving end of it. It's
Mhm.
not, I mean, I've left work after having a really, really intense interaction with the patient because I just was so overwhelmed. 10 minutes alone was not going to help me at that point
Mhm.
because there were threats made and things like that. Yeah, mental health and caring for the who's on the receiving end is very, very important. You can reach out to your local police departments as well. They sometimes offer classes on public safety for
Mhm.
businesses for free.
Mhm.
I would definitely suggest reaching out. And actually, there's a fellow office manager. I believe it was Lisa Lash. I will confirm that. She wrote a really great article for a dental management association magazine just about this and about public safety. So I'll make sure to link it for everyone so they can read it over. It was very good, and she recommended reaching out to your local police department as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of different resources, and if your town doesn't do it, then they may know of another local one in your community that, and in your county, that can help with that too.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Don't take those conversations lightly. Practice them. Practice them. And you might feel silly to practice, no one wants to do that. They hear that, you're going to go in and you know, we're going to practice a de-escalation today. They can be like, "Oh my gosh, why do we need to do that?" Right? But it's really
Mm-hmm.
important, and your team will be very grateful when they use those skills that they learned in practice.
And it could even be de-escalation of a severely sarcastic person as well.
Oh.
Some
Mhm.
people don't recognize sarcasm
Mhm.
as um, an aggressive form of conversation. It absolutely can be.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
recognizing conversations as well. Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad that this conversation wasn't super aggressive, Jen, and that these 10 minutes these 10 minutes offered some really hopefully great insight into de-escalation techniques. I'm going to go de-escalate with a glass of wine and a Milano cookie.
Oh,
That's what
there
I'll
you go. I'm gonna go have a harvest beer with a rim.
Oh, my kind of girl. That's what I was saying. Thank you everyone for
Bye,
checking in.
everyone. Oh,
Back
and this
in
is
10.
after hours too, just to be clear. We're not going back to work or anything after this,
Oh
just so
yeah.
everyone knows. Yeah, okay.
It
Cool.
might be 1 o'clock when you're listening to this when it airs. I mean, some of us could be drinking at 1 o'clock. It depends on the time of day and kind of day and type of conversations you've had. Maybe you've already had one of these escalated conversations and you just need that.
Feel
Clock
for
out
you.
and then go home and do it.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for spending a few minutes with us on Back in 10.
If something made you laugh, nod, or feel a little more human, share it with a friend and make sure that you're subscribed.
You can also follow us on Instagram at Back in 10 Pod for more behind the scenes, updates, and probably a little chaos.
We're not here to have it all figured out. We're just here to tell you the things that we wish someone had told us.
And remind you that leadership doesn't have to be perfect, just real.
We'll be back in 10.